What's good, y'all? This your boy Big Dog Talk Sports, man. Salute to the whole team. Salute to the whole Behind the Bench Network. And salute to all the subscribers, all the supporters, man. Everybody who watch, everybody hit that like button. Salute to everybody, man. I think one thing, all of us, when I say all of us, I'm including all you viewers and subscribers and supporters and everybody on the Behind the Bench Network. What we want is authenticity, right? Even if we disagree on sports, whether this player is better than this player, this team is better than this team, whatever. We still want authenticity, even if we disagree. If you look around the news world today, the sports news world today, you're starting to see, a lot of stuff, or, people, narratives, whatever, be some BS. Jason Whitlock, right? I know a lot of people don't like Jason Whitlock. I'm not Jason Whitlock, biggest fan or anything like that. He says some things I disagree with. He do say some things I do agree with. But I know he's not a favorite when it comes to, sports media. I know that. Amongst his peers, amongst a lot of people, who watch YouTube and stuff, fans like ourselves, because I'm still a fan myself. But one thing he has been doing as of late, and if you love the sports world like we all do, we haven't been under a rock. We know he's been going at Stephen A. Smith. And he's been, poking some holes in Stephen A. Smith's come up. He said, when Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharp's show, and Cat Williams was exposing or saying this person was a plant in comedy, pretty much talking about Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish and other people saying they're plants, and there's plants in Hollywood, which we all know. We know there's plants in the music industry as well. There's some artists I believe are plants. I can't sit here and say I know they plants, but I be believing they plants. Like, I never heard nobody play Tekashi 6ix9ine music ever in my life. I believe he's a plant. I don't know if he is or not, but whatever, right? So, he said he read Stephen A. Smith's book, and, he started reading it, and he was calling out BS. Now, you got some people, just because they don't like Jason Whitlock, no matter what he says, they're not going to listen to it. But whether you like somebody or not, the fact still remains. The truth is the truth, And then, you go back to old footage of Stephen A. Smith. He's talking about his college career. His story sounds a little too unbelievable. And then when he talks about it himself and the story changes up, it's like, you're not looking good, Jason Whitlock. He's looking good right now, and y'all a little back and forth. Stephen A. Smith, first he said he played college ball. Like, the story do sound crazy. Is it possible? It is. But to say he played in a scrimmage and made 17 three-pointers in a row? Bro. Bro, you was lighting up that scoreboard, bro. And the coach for Winston-Salem State Big House Games, they gave him a full-ride scholarship right there on the spot. Now, I'm from North Carolina, y'all. And Winston-Salem State, they're not a big school like that where they just got money to just, give scholarships out like that. And he said he did it in the month of February. Well, if you watch college basketball, these guys, they're preparing for postseason play, conference championship play, all that. And he got a full-ride scholarship. No high school basketball recognition nationwide, none of that. One scrimmage game where he made 17 three-pointers in a row. Is it possible? Yes, but it's very highly unlikely. So, Jason Whitlock called BS on that. Stephen A. Smith, he gets on his podcast. He's calling him names, fat bastard, this. Call him the B word, just went off on him. But he never really addressed the accusations of, his memoirs or quote unquote memoirs. He never addressed what Jason Whitlock accused, him of lying about, his history, his come up in the game. He just called them names and his fans were just eating it up. Yeah, man, get at Jason Whitlock. He jealous of you. He a fat pig, he a fat bastard, blah, blah, blah. Then, people start pulling out the footage on Stephen A. Smith. They start pulling out the footage. One day he said he played one game in college. And somehow he averaged 1.5 points per game. I don't know how he pulled that off in one game, but whatever, right? Then they say he played 9 games in college. And he made 5 threes or something. And, the coach said he shot too many threes, so he wasn't getting that much burn. But then Stephen A. Smith goes on the Paul George podcast. I don't know the name of the podcast, but he went on the Paul George podcast. And he talks about how he had to get a 6-inch screw in his knee. And every 36 to 48 hours, the knee would give out. And he had to leave school for a semester, for his mom's insurance to get taken care of because they wasn't going to pay for it in North Carolina. And he said out of his own mouth, I never played in college. He said that on the Paul George podcast. So it's Stephen A. Smith played 1 game in college. Next we told he played 9 games in college. Then he tell us he ain't played no games in college. Hey man, if this was battle rap, Jason Whitlock is up 1-0. Really 2-0. Jason Whitlock is ahead in this head-to-head, man. And then I see some people say, well, Jason Whitlock, what does that do anything? And, at one moment you say, well, you talk about Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp said he did this and did this. But then you say, well, what we did in the past don't matter. But yet you're talking about Stephen A. Smith. See, this is the BS I be talking about, right? People don't like facts. And they meat ride who they like, or they hate on whoever they don't like, no matter whether they tell the truth or not. See, what he was saying about Shannon Sharp was that Shannon Sharp was a superior football player than he was, a superior athlete. So all that don't matter. He said, Jason Whitlock wasn't good enough to make the pros, and Shannon Sharp became one of the all-time greats. But see, he's saying that don't matter because, it's well documented those guys played college football and Shannon Sharp went pro and became a Hall of Fame tight end. There's no holes to punch in that. We all seen that. Right? But what he's saying about Stephen A. Smith is that Stephen A. Smith is saying this about his background. Well, if he's lying about his collegiate career in basketball, what else is he lying about? Now, we know Stephen A. Smith can lie now. He can lie. My boy Kobe Bryant Film Room got plenty of Hell of Fire Cap videos showing Stephen A. Smith is a liar. So don't act like he ain't a liar. Now, you could be a fan of Stephen A. Smith, but he's a liar. So, but what Jason Whitlock was trying to say was, pretty much what Cat Williams was saying about, comedy. He was saying, Kevin Hart, he was in LA for a year, then all of a sudden he got big movies and everything. it was another comedian. He did a documentary or something about a club in New York. A lot of people performed that, and he said Kevin Hart never was there, so they was lying about that backstory, and pretty much just saying Kevin Hart backstory is made up and he was a plant, for Hollywood. I don't follow Kevin Hart that deep, so it is what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Hart myself, so whatever, right? But Stephen A. Smith, he's been with ESPN and sports media for a long time. And if he's lying about his college basketball background, what else about his backstory is fake when it comes to sports? Because he is the biggest name in sports media. Well, Shannon Sharp might have catapulted him, but for a while, Stephen A. Smith was that guy. And Jason Whitlock looking like he's right about Stephen A. Smith being a plant. And some people may say, well, what does it matter? It matters a lot, because when you have a plant, they're there to create narratives, and their voice get powerful enough to where they could destroy, this is sports, so they could destroy an athlete's reputation, which can mess up their money. They can push narratives. Stephen A. Smith, he was pushing, shout out to Two Raw for Sports, the Elixir, if you know what I mean. And he was trying to destroy Kyrie Irving every day because he didn't want to take the Elixir, And then he told us it wasn't personal. Then he get on another show and say it was personal. Kyrie Irving know what's going on. So it's like, a plant. And I'm not saying Stephen A. is a plant. I'm just saying he's looking like one right now. Because his past is in question when it comes to the sports media. It's in question right now. But he's looking like a plant, like Jason Whitlock believes he is. And we know Stephen A. Smith to be a liar. And don't act like we don't, because we do. And when I was young, man, watching ESPN, bro, I was like a big fan of Stephen A. Smith, bro. I thought he was the man, bro. I used to love watching Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, especially back in the era, that Stuart Scott era, and remember Stump the Schwab and all that, where ESPN was fire. Like, you'll have ESPN on your TV all day long, and they just show the same thing over and over, Like Stephen A. Smith, I was like, bro, that's the man right there. Watch, quite frankly, he had with Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, amongst others, man. Like, big Stephen A. Smith fan, until I started realizing, some things about him. I don't hate him. I don't know the man personally, so it's not like I hate him or nothing, or want to see him broke or something or anything like that. But I noticed after a while, man, Stephen A. Smith, he be fronting on a lot of things, and his background is in question, legitimately in question. Maybe he'll clear it up. I mean, it's really hard to clear it up when out of your own mouth, like, you're telling lies. So it's really hard to clear it up. But man, I'm just making this video, man. Want y'all tell me what y'all think about Stephen A. Smith. Do y'all believe he's a plant? Is he Stephen A. Smith, or is he Stephen A. Myth? Y'all let us know in the comment section, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate all supporters. Shout out to the whole squad. Subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, Big Dog Talk Sports. I'm out, man. Peace.